I'm Dr. Stephen Andrew Missick. I'm running for Texas State Legislature, HD 18, which covers Liberty, Hardin, San Jacinto, and East Montgomery County. And what I want to talk about today is the border. I worked on the border, I know the border, and we need to work to secure our border. But right now, the border's wide open. We're looking upon literally millions, over 10 million probably, even more than that, when Biden, if he leaves office in 2024, or if we have another Democrat administration after 2024, we're going to see another 10, 15, 20 million. I saw a book a few months ago by a Democrat activist called 1 Billion. They're trying to bring the population of the United States up to 1 billion people with a wide open border to change the demographics and collapse the country and make a socialist, communist utopia. That's the ultimate goal that these people have. They're anti-American, they're communists. So what happened recently, just to show what's going on, it's an attack on the idea of America, it's an attack on the Constitution. And this has bothered me for some time. When the war on terror struck, like on September 11th, I was in the Middle East visiting Aramaic-speaking Christian communities. And so I wasn't in the United States until several weeks after September 11th. And then, I'm deployed. So I go on a couple deployments. So there's all these political actions going on here that I'm not really involved with because I'm overseas. And one of the things that really bothered me was never accepted it, the passing of the Patriot Act, where they passed this new legislation to strip us of our constitutional liberties. It's an attack on the Constitution. And we have to repeal the Patriot Act. They should never have passed it in the first place. It's not necessary. And now it's being abused. First, they're going after radical Muslim extremists. Now it's going after the political opposition of the left, which is deeply entrenched in the bureaucracy of our federal government. Left-wingers and Marxists and socialists are just in this, what they call the deep state or ministry, it's just infested with these far-left maniacs, especially the FBI. So one of the things that really bothers me is they always have an excuse for it, like some Muslim terrorist has a bomb in his shoes, so now you have to go through the indignity of taking your shoes off. Then we have the underwear bomber. So now everybody that gets on a plane pretty much has to be electronically strip searched. And we are not free to travel in our own country without being strip searched. They're doing it with a machine, but you're being strip searched nonetheless. And it's a violation. They have no reason. Just because you're flying, you have to be strip searched. It's unacceptable. It's not necessary. And I'll prove it to you that it's not necessary. Right now, this is a report. Matt Gaetz just wrote a letter right before Christmas. Delta Airlines is full of illegal immigrants. People across, migrants across the border. These people don't have IDs. And they're just, they're letting them on these planes. They're flying all over the country without IDs, without going to the security check, without having to get, electronically strip searched. Don't know who these people are. And they're coming from the entire world, from hotbeds of Islamic extremism, Africa, India, China. Foreign adversaries of the United States crossing our open border, getting on our planes. It's like, okay, you look at my ID when I have to, I want to go see my family or go visit friends. I have to be strip searched. And I don't think it was the process as bad as Nazi Germany as or Stalinist Russia, communism under the Soviet Union. They weren't strip searching just strip searching every citizen that wanted to travel in their own country. I don't think they did that. As bad as they were, you weren't just strip searched by the fascists in Italy or Germany or the communists, but we accepted, and it's like, well, I got to see my family. I got this business trip, so we endure the indignity, the humiliation, and obviously it's not necessary. If some jihadi can cross our border and just be ushered into a plane without showing ID, without going through the getting patted down or groped by some pervert working the TSA, they don't have to do that. And I want to tell you something, and I've really felt this for a long time. I go to Iraq, my first deployment. It was difficult. I come back home to the United States, and I realize that the federal government doesn't value me or our veterans. the people that they do value are illegal aliens. That they have a special status above everyone else. They have special rights and privileges that we don't enjoy. And it's exemplified by this situation. Matt Gaetz wrote a letter trying to find out what's Delta Airlines doing. What's going on? Who's paying for this? But I'm running for state rep. And I don't know how much power I have or what I can do. But, and of course, this is Congress, where you have, the Patriot Act and things like that being passed. This, state legislatures are very important. It's just doesn't have as much power or prestige maybe. But we have to have people in government saying, well, wait a minute, it's time to repeal like these FISA warrants. I mean, it's a gross violation of and they abuse it. It's a gross violation of our constitutional liberties, and the FBI has used FISA warrants for politicized, corrupt purposes with impunity. You get Christopher Wray there sneering, refusing to answer valid questions, showing contempt to our Constitution, contempt to the elected officials of our government. We're not functioning as a democratic republic anymore. I mean, and the thing is, the FBI is not in the Constitution, but they have more power and authority than the Congress. And seemingly, they don't like President Donald Trump. If there's a candidate that they don't approve of, then they have more power. That's how they got rid of Nixon, the deep throat guy that was actually the deputy director of the FBI. They decided these people, he wasn't sophisticated, didn't have the right mannerisms, and wasn't dignified from their point of view to be president, even though Nixon was actually an effective president. And what right does the FBI, well, yeah, the people voted for this guy, we don't want him, so let's create some kind of scandal and force him out of office. When I found out that, because, our whole life, Watergate, all the president's been blah, 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 blah. But you find out that Deep Throat is abusing his power, spying on the President of the United States. And it's like, this whole thing's a sham. And look at Bernstein. He's a clown. You know who Woodward is? He's an intelligence officer, military intelligence officer, not a journalist. Been scammed, folks. We need to have political leaders who can stand up for the Constitution, stand up for the American people, and this is borderline tyranny. It's unconstitutional, and sadly, like I said, I'm very much opposed to. I love the Middle East, I love the Arab people, but I'm passionate in my opposition to radical Islam. And people could call me an Islamophobe. I think calling me Islamophobe shows you have gross ignorance of Islamic culture. Be that as it may, even though I have these passionate feelings against radical Islam, I've never supported the Patriot Act. A lot of conservatives did. It was a mistake. Now they realize it. Washington Institute's film, Police State, and people need to see what's going on. We need to fight back. And the Democrats, they play hardball. They're united together. They have one goal. Let's get rid of the Constitution. Let's have a Marxist police state. Let's crush the opposition. Let's have no voices of dissent, no freedom of speech. It's our way or the highway. And they're unified in their goal. Republicans, we fight among ourselves, and conservatives, Democrats play hardball, and Republicans want to play patty cake. Never seems to change. And I think that's the importance of Donald Trump, is because the reason, so why did the Donald Trump movement happen? Because people in the Republican Party, the Democrats achieve results, but what do they do for us, the Republicans? They fail us time and time and time again. And a lot of the problems we have in this society with polarization, of course, mostly that's the media and Hollywood pushing that, but it's also our the weakness and ineptitude on the part of the Republican establishment, honestly. And apparently they don't have any allegiance to our Constitution either. They're going the same way. Look at the Bushes now, and the McCains, the Cheneys, the Romneys. They're leftists. They always have been. We've been scammed. They conned us. And that's why let's get somebody who's going to actually say what he's going to do and do what he says he's doing. Fulfill his promises and obligations to American people like Trump did. They can't abide that. So we've been had long enough, and that's why we have Donald Trump, and that's why he's popular, because Democrats fight for what they believe in, Marxism, and we have very, very few fighters. I'll give an example of this. George Santos. Let's compare George Santos to somebody like Ralph Northam. Ralph Northam is a Democrat governor, or was. He fulfilled his term in office. If he was a Republican, he would have had to resign in disgrace. What did Ralph Northam do? Two things. Number one, three. I don't understand this. I've lived in the South all my life. I'm a proud Southerner, and I've never seen something as racist in my entire life as Ralph Northam. Apparently, he's a physician. He had his yearbook from the medical school he went to, and there he is in blackface. There he is wearing the robe of a Ku Klux Klan. Does he think that's funny? I don't think it's funny. I don't think racism's funny. I don't think the exploitation of African Americans, black people, is funny. He thinks that's funny. He's a racist. He's a racist. How much more racist could you get than donning the robes of a KKK and mocking black people by putting on blackface? What did the Democrats do when this man was exposed? And the other thing he's exposed for is, if there's a newborn baby that the mother decides she doesn't want, he wants to commit an infanticide. Shocking. That's what the Democrat Party is for now, apparently. The Democrats supported Ralph Northam. They do not sacrifice their own. Doesn't matter what they do. They line back and they support him. So this guy is a disgusting person. He wants to kill newborn babies. He has in his past been outrageously racist. And the Democrat Party is always conservative. They're always accusing conservatives, you guys are a bunch of racists, blah, blah, blah. We hear that all the time. You don't know me, buddy. You don't know what basis you have to say, you're racist, you're blah, 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 blah. So one of their own is very racist, as racist as you can be, and they supported him. He was elected, he served out his terms. And then we have George Santos. What did he do? He embellished his resume. So, it's not right. I'm not saying it's right, but they expel him from Congress. It's crazy. And then we have the FBI. The FBI, politicized, attacking the conservative movement, attacking Republicans, gross abuses of power. It's without dispute. The target of the FBI is conservative Republicans. They're politicized. They want the Democrats to win, and they're using the power of the federal government, put their hands on their thumb on the scales, and make sure Democrats win and Republicans lose. Republicans know that, so what do? Let's give the Democrat Party, that's what it is, the Democrat Bureau of Investigation. Let's give the FBI billions of dollars more. After all the egregious crimes against conservatives and Republicans across this country, these idiots in the Congress vote to give the FBI everything they want. What does the FBI have to do? What have they not done? So right now it's like the House, about roughly 200 Republicans in the House, a little bit over that. The numbers fluctuating because of people getting expelled or resigning, blah, blah, blah. The number of seats in the House of Representatives is 435. So let's just say, sake of simplicity, say there's 200. All right, it's rounded up. We're down. So I think it's 88 Republicans. So let's round that up. So half of Republicans are voting for the left in Congress. So that's where we are as a party. It's sad. And that's why we have Trump, and that's why we have this new MAGA movement, because people are tired of the status quo. They're tired of this nonsense. They never stand up. They never fight back. Like the Democrats, like I said, they stand united for what? Destroy America. Let's get rid of our Constitution. Let's have no more freedom of speech. Let's not have the freedom of religion's gone. Freedom of speech is gone. You can't worship in church. You can't do, nothing. The government tells you what to do, how to do it, how to think, what you can and cannot say. That's the Democrats' vision for America. And the Republicans don't want to fight back. Well, I'll fight back. And we need more leaders to take a stand and fight back against these outrages. And what am I supposed to do? I'm flying. It's like, oh, here you got to get in this thing. Put your hand over your head while we oogle your naked body. Behind the screen here, look at you naked. Because sometime, 20 years ago, somebody put a diaper bomb on. So now everybody has to be subjected to this indignity. It's ridiculous. But if you're an illegal alien, God knows where you're from. We don't know. Could be plotting the next September 11th attack. You just come right on. The next contestant, next illegal alien, come down here. Don't worry about showing your ID. They left in Mexico anyway. Don't worry about a background check. We had no idea who you are. Don't worry about having these perverts groping on you, the TSA. Don't worry about standing in the electronic, digital, strip machine and stripping you down so we can gawk at your naked body. Don't have to worry about any of that. Just come on down and fill these planes up at the United States American taxpayers' expense. It's an outrage. And nobody's standing up for the people. It's time to stand up. It's time to fight back. And of course, we want safety in our airlines, but this is what right do they have to just say everybody has to be strip searched? It's unconstitutional, folks. Just because some whack job 20 years ago put a underwear bomb, every single person has to be strip searched to get on a plane? It's not necessary. It's not about security. It's about people crushing people under the heavy-handed fist of the authoritarian state to crush your liberty and your free thinking, your independence out of you and make you they want to make you a slave. They want to make you to be a citizen. They want you a subject. They want to own you and control you and take away all your dignity as a human being and reduce you to a serf or a slave. And we need to say no more. Americans will stand strong, we'll stand free, and we're going to stand brave, and we're not going to take this anymore. The government should answer to the people, not the other way around. And on top of that, these people are utter and complete morons. Oh, we can't have Trump in there. Let's just stuff these ballots, these mail-in ballots. Let's go find a warehouse of, you look at these supposedly, mailed-in ballots, and they're like, none of them have been folded. It's like they haven't been folded. You're telling me these are mail-in ballots? It just looks like they came out. I used to work at a copy and print center. Just come out of the copy machine. Fraud. It's time to fight back. And what have they done? What have they done? Oh, yeah, we kept that. We kept Trump out of there. We've lost a third of the value of our currency since these jackasses took over. Stole the election. There's no way Biden won. Give me a break. Don't insult my intelligence. They lie to you. Oh, unproven accusations. Blah, 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 blah. Disinformation. That's CNN. That's MSNBC. That's the mainstream news agencies. Misinformation, disinformation, lies to control you. And what have they done? We got war, instability, chaos, an open border. They're the adults are back in the room. We got rid of Trump. The adults are back in the room. I'd rather have a 3-year-old child run the government, do a lot better job than Obama, Biden, whatever you want to call him. The man who's really in control. Could you imagine that? This is where we're at as a country, folks. Just deal with the reality of it. This man that goes around crapping on himself, falling down the stairs, falling up the stairs, doesn't know who he is or where he is. Not only can he not put sentences, can't string sentences together, he can't even enunciate words half the time. And you're telling me that this is the, they say he's the leader of the free world. This is the free world? I can't say what I want to say. I can't go where I want to go. I can't even, I have to wear a mask in these places. The heavy boot of the federal government on my neck all the time. How is this a free country? We don't even have freedom of opportunity anymore. Like I said, illegal aliens. They have more rights and privileges than we do as American citizens. And then the attraction of these people, these sick people. Marxism and socialism have caused death by the hundreds of millions around the world. And they're imposing these idiot ideas, this moronic ideas, failed ideology on us. You get shadow ban. It's like, all these internet companies, they can do whatever they want. Turns out the FBI is doing all the shadow banning and the censoring, the deplatforming. The FBI and the CIA. Check out the Twitter files. What about our First Amendment? We don't have them, I guess. Not really. We need people to stand up, push back, and fight. And just, tell the truth. Tell the truth. Why is that so hard? People can't even tell the truth anymore. You look at that and it's like, are we on the verge of civil war? I hope not. I don't think, I don't want to see violence. I hope it's never necessary. But, if people just stand up for the truth and have integrity and courage, stand up for what's right, it wouldn't come to that. But apparently that's too much to ask for. So, we also need to turn to God. But, one of the things is, we need to turn to God. But there's something the Bible talks about in the book of Proverbs called wisdom. Wisdom that comes from God. And this ideology of leftism is foolishness. It's a curse. And yes, I know that you have to approach God as a child. Salvation is the most important thing. But we have an obligation to protect our rights and freedoms. That's the thing about, I don't understand evangelicals supporting the left, because what does evangelical mean? Well, it means you evangelize. It means you proclaim the good news of Jesus Christ. You can't do that if you don't have free speech. How can you, it's like they're trying to strip your freedom of speech, freedom of religion, the right to peaceably assemble. They're trying to take all these rights away from you. And how can you support that as an evangelical Christian? And then they force, depravity on people, moral insanity. We have to put God first. The Bible says that God be true and every man a liar. And sometimes people talk about rendering to Caesar the things that are Caesar. The Democrat Party, you cannot have any higher power at all. They don't acknowledge any deity above their Caesar, the power of the state. They can't abide any other god than the raw political power that they feel like they can wield against anybody who disagrees with them. But there is a higher power, there's an ultimate good, and we're all accountable to it. So Christians need to speak out, you need to get involved, and we need to have wisdom. And we have to have not just wisdom, but courage. And we need people to stand up. That's what it takes. Just somebody show some courage. We need leaders. We need people to take the initiative and stand for what's right. I'll try to do it. Nobody's perfect except for the Lord, but just look at well, I don't know, I made mistakes and I'm not perfect. Well, only the Lord's perfect. Look at Peter. Denied the Lord. Thomas doubted. Look at David, what he did. Even Moses. Killed a man. God uses, us and our imperfections. And, all of our, the Lord will give us the grace and the ability to achieve great things if we have faith. It only takes a little bit of faith. And, I think part of the problem is, let's look at, I'm running for office against Ernest Bales. And, fundamentally, the problem with Ernest Bales is when it comes down to it, he doesn't believe in anything. And that's why he's so easy to take money from Trey Harris and Colony Ridge and sell us out. Because he doesn't really believe in what the Republican Party represents. He doesn't believe in our Constitution, he doesn't believe in this ideology, I guess that's what you want to call it, beliefs that about America. He doesn't believe in America, he doesn't believe in our Constitution, he doesn't believe in freedom and dignity. He doesn't, I mean, if you're going to sell people out for money, you don't believe in a higher moral standard or accountability before God. What does he believe in? Just self-aggrandizement, I guess. Eat, drink, and be merry, for tomorrow we die. Might as well just engage in bribery and corruption. Believe. And I'll admit it, I made a lot of mistakes in my life, as we all have. But I believe in Jesus Christ. I believe in the Bible. I believe in America. I believe it's the best system, and it's the best, greatest hope for the world. And I'm going to stand up for it, and I'm going to fight for it. And I invite you to stand with me to save America. 2024 is a pivotal year. And it's going to determine if America will survive. If these people, they stole the election in 2020, if they steal it again or they refuse to give up power, in some way they're going to refuse to give up power. I think there's going to be a confrontation. I don't know what it's going to look like, and I have faith that they're going to fail. But they're not going to just acknowledge their defeat and just give up. I think they're going to engage in all the behaviors they falsely accused Trump and conservatives engaging in. We're going to see very difficult times ahead of us, but they will be defeated. And if America falls to the left and we go into decline and have become a failed state, as we are becoming now, it'll be a sad thing. It's not just about America. It's about the world. But what America represents. They're making America into a byword, into a laughing stock around the world right now under Joe Biden. He's humiliating this country. It's all by design. So I think God has a design for us as well. It says in Scripture, if my people which are called by my name shall humble themselves and seek my face and turn from their wicked ways, then I will hear from heaven, I will forgive their sins, and I will heal the land. Let's take a stand for truth. Let's take a stand for God. Let's take a stand for the ideals that have made America great. And just like Donald J. Trump, we are going to make America great again for the benefit of the whole world, to be a blessing to all the land. That's what God wants all of us to do, be a blessing to everybody. And I believe we're going to achieve that goal and that dream. And that's why we got to be involved, be active, and participate in the elections in 2024 so we have a victory for America, a victory for the future, and a victory for all mankind, a victory for Donald J. Trump and make America great again.